I'm going to do kind of a lightning round for you.
Got it.
Of comparing you to your opponents. Your opponents favor raising taxes on food, medicine, and rent. Are you for that or against it?
It's not necessary and it's not needed.
You would vote against it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you vote for the tax increase on oil and gas as your opponents would?
No, I would not, because our businesses need these products and they're going to pass those costs on for the gallon of milk. Everything you buy is going to come off of that end product, and to tax that just continues to penalize all of us. Even if you're not an end user and say, I don't have a car, you're going to get hit one way or the other. So no, that is not a good tax.
Okay, well, both of your opponents support raiding the Hurricane Relief Fund to balance the state budget. What's your opinion?
Again, it wasn't necessary. You know, Rep, I could find you real quick. I know you wanted a rapid fire, but I just found $15 million. It was budgeted to bring the Qualicati Parkway to Roosevelt. State says, we're turning jurisdiction over to the city. So that $15 million right there that was budgeted for was freed up, right? Then you have Department of Human Services. If you allow those that want to, are in need of services, welfare, what have you, they could apply over the phone. So we'd lose some 200 jobs. There was $8 million in savings. And as another friend of ours, Aaron Bonar, he says, Tom, you're not losing 200 jobs. It's redirecting where they need to be. So it's not a loss. It's a gain. It's a win-win. So I just found 15 plus 8 right there. As a member of the Republican caucus with Rep. Ward and his staff, as the policy leader, came up with a schemata and said, everybody to see. The advertiser published it and said, you don't need to raid the hurricane fund. Now, your efforts were to pay it back if it were to be raided, and that too was defeated. When there's only 6 of you in the House, I watched you guys just get stomped on like a bug, and it hurts. It really hurts. That's why I'm hoping to add to the balance.
Now, your opponents would have voted for that really bad rail bill that had that 10% cut for the state. Basically, what happened was greedy politicians, knowing our desperation for traffic relief, added a 10% cut to the rail tax so that they can raise over $300 million for their own port projects.
That's right.
Your opponent said, I had to vote for that bill. Would you have fought to take that 10% out?
Yes, and it can still be done. That monies can be recouped, and they could be put in its proper place. Absolutely.
So how do you think we can go about doing that, though?
Well, to educate the viewers out there, let's take an example that we live in a condominium, and we have common bills. You know, the common elements need to be maintained, whether it's the swimming pool, the landscaping, what have you. We share that cost. So the maintenance fee tax, Senate Bill 2402, when that came up, we have to talk about this a little bit, the antecedents to it. When the maintenance fee tax came up, it was, I believe, after the Senate Draft 2 version, meaning that a chair of a committee stuck it in. The public sees a committee report. There was no hearing. It went straight to conference committee. So condominium owners or end users of a planned community association, those homeowners, would be subjected to a 1% tax just because we put our money to the property manager to pay our bills. They were going to tax that. So you have a double tax. We made a YouTube on this that has Rep. Suki, Emeritus Suki, said, this tax is wrong. This isn't right. This is meant to just pay the bill, of which that bill in turn they pay taxes on. So it's a double tax. Lo and behold, it did pass the House. And then it,
both of your opponents would have supported that
absolutely.
That tax and we already pay taxes
yes.
on all the services that we pay through our maintenance fees. We pay the taxes for the landscaper, we pay the taxes for the laborer, we pay taxes for gas and the sewer and everything else. And so basically you'd basically pass legislation to take the 10% out for the rail that was wrong.
That's right.
It was a sham.
That's right.
And then you would definitely, unlike your opponents, vote against the maintenance tax increase because it was just taxing money for sitting there, correct?
That's correct. There's the real estate tax that my opponent, the incumbent, also supported. The death tax, the estate tax. So you asked me a little bit earlier, what really ate at your craw? What really worked you up, Tom? Not just the flag, but in times of grief, to have our tax dollars, I think 40 to 60 million a year is spent to go around the world and advertise Hawaii so that we can beef up tourism and all that. And with those revenues, the death estate tax said if you're a foreign investor and you want to come in like CT&T, the South Korean car manufacturing company, coming to our neck of the woods in West Oahu, decided to come here before that tax was implemented and passed, and it's retroactive. So someone who actually passed away didn't have to pay a tax, now has to come back and have a tax 55% rate. That's just
Actually,
wrong.
your opponent voted for it when it was applied to local people.
Yeah.
So if you have a local person that amassed a fortune from working so hard and saving. My grandma hardly ever bought her anything nice for herself, but she saved and saved and invested.
Right.
And there was going after elderly local people to take everything that they have, 55%, after they die.
Right.
And so you would be against the death
That's
tax,
wrong.
punishing people
It's just
for dying.
It's just wrong. Now, why all these taxes? Why all these taxes, Rep?
I don't know. Well, hopefully, Tom, we're going to get you in there, and you can ensure that we don't punish people for when they die. We don't punish people for when they're successful, and we don't punish people for saving money and handing things down to their family.
Okay.
Well, folks, I want to thank you for joining us today.
We just got
Tom
started.
Berg,
We just got
Tom Berg is a
started.
fantastic candidate. So if you're out there in Waipahu and Eva Beach and Eva area, I ask humbly that you vote for this wonderful man who has served our community for many years.
Thank you. That's very
Thank
kind
you,
of you.
Tom, very much
Thank you, Rep.
for putting your name in the hat and ensuring that the people of Eva have some hope and a chance for a positive future. We're very excited about your future.
Thank you. Remember in November.
Remember in November.